Welcome back, everybody, to My Last Brain Cell. For those of you who may have missed it, from now on, today, starting today, going forward, we will have Spoken Word Thursday. So, before we start today's episode, I will be reading a poem written by Handle Cat Sim J. Shout out to my homegirl, Katrina, for her Substack. So everything I'm reading so far will be from her. If you or anybody you know has a poem that you would like to be read, you can send it to my email, mylastbraincell420@gmail.com. Let's get started. Today's read is called You Cannot Be Passionate and Lack Eye Contact. There's a blurb here before we get into the actual poem itself. I find eye contact uncomfortable. I cannot maintain it and focus on conversations. The only time I am staring someone in the eyes is if I am far away in my mind and I mistakenly rested my eyes upon theirs, or if I am thinking about something bad. I could expound on this, but the context of what I mean are not PC. I, on the other hand, enjoy watching my loved one sleep. In that instance, I am the only one staring. Here we go. Integrity, but your eyes are down. But no, intensity comes from our minds, not how. Easily, I let your eyes find mine. Eyes are tools, extended windows of the self that are rarely used correctly. Often we make it seem like the tangible things are all we can see, while others disassociate and travel far away to a world blind to external eyes who don't see. We can close our eyes, and if it's closed hard enough, our senses will touch in a different way that's usually in latency. Slowly, building sensuously, the thing that makes our hairs stand up, our energies. They coalesce in different ways. Through our words, our mind mills through and analyze our conversations spoken continuously. Our noses perked up as we take in our naturally complemented MHCs. Our eyes might not meet, but a couple of times our hands brushed each other accidentally. A light touch, but you know your brain logged those sensations as memories. I may be talking and looking behind you, but all I can feel is your aura beaming into me. I'm speaking freely and enthusiastically because I enjoy this. What do other people call this intoxicating interaction? Chemistry? Not the type I'm used to, but I guess I can see how this one may have the same complexity. Quantum physics will tell you our particles can be far, but our quarks are still linked through infinity. So why must I stare into you when I know you still feel the same energy? I can look away or close my eyes, and you always feel even closer to me. That was beautiful. I'm going to read this one again in my own time. I really enjoyed that. At the end of her blurb earlier, she said, she said, press the word infinity when you finish reading the entire poem, and it's a hyperlink, and it brings you to a character analysis of Satoru Gojo, and I think that's the funniest fucking thing, because obviously his eyes are a weapon. Essentially, they are the biggest tool. He can see everything. And I'll have to read this also on my own time, but I like how she put this in here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, as I mentioned, if you have a poem, or if you know someone who has a poem that they wouldn't mind being read on here, you can once again send it to mylastbraincell420@gmail.com. Once again, shout out to Cat Sim J for allowing me, yes, I got permission first, for allowing me to read her poem. And I can't wait to read more. Now that we're done with that, let's get into the shenanigans. Question of the day for you guys. And today's question of the day is going to be super simple. Are you ready? When's the last time you were scared? And I mean like genuine fear coursed through your body, whether it was a jump scare on your phone that had your heart racing, or you watched a scary movie, or you played a scary game, or maybe something scary happened in your life. When is the last time you were scared? I have two because one I don't want to count, but I kind of have to, just because of how it happened, and the other one I remember very, very vividly. The last time, I'll start with the one I remember very, very vividly. The last time I was genuinely scared, I mean, like, oh shit, like some fear ran through my body. I was in college, and my college roommate and I at the time were watching Paranormal Activity 2. I don't remember if the third one was coming out or if it had came out already, but he and I decided to rent from the school library on campus Paranormal Activity 2. And we watched this at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Okay, like this is how vividly I remember this. I don't remember the time of day, but I know the sun was out and it was a Sunday. It was bright outside. Okay, and in our college dorm room, it wasn't super big. It's just a room, right? And I didn't have a super big TV. My TV was honestly probably about as big as my laptop, if even that, right? This is 16 years ago now. So we're watching Paranormal Activity 2 on my little TV, and I'll be honest, the very first Paranormal Activity to me was a joke. Like, me and my friends went there when I was in high school, and I remember us making a bunch of jokes. We had people cracking up. Like, we did not take it seriously. I don't know what happened between Paranormal Activity 1 and Paranormal Activity 2, but Paranormal Activity 2 had some scenes that had us both jumping. Like, we were we screamed. We screamed to the point that someone came and knocked on our doors to ask if we were okay. Like, they came knocking on our door. Yo, y'all good? We were like, yeah, not be good. Yo, why y'all screaming? We're watching Paranormal Activity 2. No one came and checked on us after that. They didn't even take us seriously after that. Yeah. So I am curious to know when the last time you guys were scared. And the other one I was gonna say, and this one isn't my fault. I was driving the other night. I forgot where I was coming from. But my girlfriend and I were driving and it was super dark out, and her and I were having a conversation, kikiing and whatnot. And all of a sudden, deer popped out in front of the road, and she like, "Oh my god, deer!" And I kind of just sat there, stone faced like this. Like, I hit my brake a little bit just to slow down because I saw them crossing the road, and I was just like, and I kept driving. She said, "I'm so sorry. I was scared." I looked at her. I was like, "I ain't gonna lie to you. My heart's still racing. You scared the shit out of me." She scared the shit out of me because like she was panicked and like I saw them, but in the moment they crossed the road, I looked over to the side of the road and saw some roadkill. So like for the split second they ran across the road, I was distracted by that. I would have caught them, but when she screamed, "Oh my god, dear," my first initial reaction was it's coming straight for me. Not that they're crossing the road, but I have one coming straight at us. I was terrified, but I said like this. Mad stone face stoic. You know what I mean? She had no idea. She was like, "Wow, that was scary. You handled that well." I was like, mm-hmm. Now you scared the shit out of me. Yeah, it wasn't the moment that scared me, it was her reaction because I genuinely thought this is it. But I am curious to know from you guys, when is the last time you were genuinely scared? Put that joint in the comments. And while you do that, allow me to get the wheel of fun. Here we go. Heavy spin. Ooh. What do we got? Anime. Ooh, y'all know I love talking about some anime. But I'll be quite honest, I haven't really watched many new animes currently. Like I think we talked about very briefly Demons of the Shadow Realm, which is still brand new, came out Saturday that just passed. So the second episode will come out this Saturday, and I was only left with more questions than answers. Fire Force just ended. We talked about that. The winter season is over. We're in spring. There are some animes I want to watch. So there's Witch Hat Altair, which my girlfriend was telling me about, that the animation and the art just looks so insanely fluid. Insanely fluid. Oh my goodness. It was great. Like, the clips I've seen have been amazing. And everyone who's read this manga that's talking about it online is saying that if the basic art is this good, that the hands that they throw eventually or inevitably down the line are gonna be insane. So I'm really looking forward to that anime. I'm also, I still haven't watched Doctor Stone yet. I probably will eventually, but I'm waiting for a couple more episodes to build because I'm pretty sure this is the final season for Doctor Stone as well. We are seeing a lot of show. Like, now that I think about it, like a lot of stories that wrapped in the last 5-6 years, we're seeing their anime counterparts wrap as well. Doctor Stone is about to wrap. My Hero Academia wrapped up back in October. Fire Force just wrapped up. I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, from what I understand, Hell's Paradise, next season that comes out for that, will probably be its last as well. We know that Demon Slayer is in the throes of its last and final arc. I was gonna say Black Clover, but that's not true. Black Clover is also not over just yet. And I almost brought up Bleach, but Bleach has been over for years. But I am excited to see that end in July. But yeah, as far as this season goes, Doctor Stone, Demons in the Shadow Realm, Wisteria Wand and Sword, when that comes back. I think it comes back, I think it's at the 12th. So what's that, a Sunday? I think so. We know One Piece, yeah, that's definitely a Sunday. One Piece just came back. Yeah, I don't think there's much for this season. So that brings me to another good point, though. I was watching a clip, or a video actually, by someone that I'm subscribed to on YouTube. His name is NC Hammer. I think he goes by the Weeb Commander as well. I think one is like a page dedicated to just Naruto, and one is a page that he dedicates to all facets of anime. Right, every anime that he finds interesting, he dedicates his time to on that channel. And for the most part, truthfully, it's Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, that's what it felt like. He had his Naruto page and his Jujutsu Kaisen page, but he talks about other stuff. I mean, like Kaiju number 8 was coming out. He's talking about that. Anyway, I digress. He posted a video today about his rankings for the winter anime season. And he talked about 8 specific animes. There were some that I personally didn't watch, so I can't vouch for those, but there are others that I did. And the ones that I did watch are the ones I'm going to talk about. And then there's one honorable mention that I didn't watch that I will eventually watch, that I'll probably place at a later date. So the animes that I did watch were Frieren, Fire Force, Sentenced to Be a Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Hell's Paradise. The honorable mention for me, the honorable mention for me, I guess 2 honorable mentions are going to be Fate Strange Fake, I probably said it wrong, and Vigilantes, My Hero Academia Vigilante Season 2. I've never watched the Fate anime because, from what I understand, the stories are all gobbledygook, although the fighting and animation are on a whole nother level. I've seen fights from Fate. They all look like movie level anime. They all look like what Sword Art Online's last season of animation looked like. Just high quality movie level animation. But that's not enough to draw me. That's not enough to keep me. It's enough to draw me in, but I knew it wouldn't be sustainable and I would eventually get pissed. So in my head, I can just watch those like that on like via clips, right? And be satisfied. Vigilantes is on this list for me because I watched season 1 and I kind of enjoyed season 1, but it feels like a nothing burger of a story. Like, okay, so season 1 of Vigilantes was cool. I watched it, faithfully for a few weeks, and I just dropped it because I won't ever understand the need to over sexualize children in anime or mangas. I don't understand why mangaka do that. I don't understand why we have to continue this trend. So like Pop Step being like Yoichi's like girlfriend in a sense, or like part of his like harem. I don't know. I wasn't a fan, but I finished watching season 1 because it seemed like the story was finally starting to take some shape in the final episodes. I don't care about the antics of high school and college students. And what does that mean? Like, I don't care about the concept they're trying to throw. I don't understand we had to spend 4 episodes or how many episodes we did on a show for the community. It it genuinely felt like it served no point to the story except to be fun and lighthearted. Actually, the point it served to the story was to keep Yoichi and Pop Step out of the way so that Knuckle Duster can go fight his daughter. That was the only reason it felt like it happened. So for me, Vigilante just seems like one of those animes that I watch when I have the time and temperament. And from everything I've heard about season 2, it seems like it's not really about the Vigilantes. Why were there 3 episodes on Nozawa and his backstory? What are we doing? Clips I've seen have been about Prime All Might. I have not seen a single clip about Yoichi, about Knuckle Duster, about Pop Step. I've seen Nozawa and All Might clips. That should tell you everything you need to know about My Hero Academia Vigilantes. That should tell you everything you need to know. So I'll eventually catch that. There were 2 other anime that NC Hammer brought up that I definitely didn't watch and have no intention on watching. I think one was called Oshi no Ko, and I can't quite remember the other one. Why do I bring this up? So like I said, he ranked all of these anime. And at the bottom, he had a few things I don't quite remember. The animes I want to talk about, though, are going to be Sentenced to be a Hero, Frieren, Fire Force, JJK, and Hell's Paradise. His top 3, from what I remember, starting from 3, was Fire Force, Frieren, and JJK. And if I'm wrong, I'll make sure I put like his actual list and where he ranked them, just so you guys have that for comparison. I am 110% okay with JJK and Frieren being 1 and 2 respectively. Frieren, for those of you who watch, as you know, it's not a battle anime. It's not a shonen, you feel me? It's a lighthearted story that happens to have some decent fights. And when the fights happen, they happen. Frieren didn't have a lot of action this season. It also had a fraction of the episodes, but the Stark and Fern, will they, won't they relationship was kind of cute with their date. It's always nice to see Frieren tapping more into her humanity, or like her humane side, I should say. So yeah, man, the season was really, really good. But would I put it second? I don't know. Let's talk about Fire Force. Fire Force, I thought, was also really good. I do also feel like, as an anime only for Fire Force, I missed a lot of nuance in the last few episodes. Personally, Shinra Bashoman as a transformation, I can't say a power-up, as a transformation feels like an ass pull. I'm all for Fire Force being the precursor, the prequel to Soul Eater. I'm all for it. I saw the imagery, I see the things, I get the links. I just don't understand how all of a sudden Shinra gets this form. I really feel like the anime, and I could be wrong, for those of you who have read Fire Force, please let me know. But I do feel like the anime missed, or might have sold me short, maybe some information or some interaction. That's how I personally feel. The other anime that I watched that he mentioned was Hell's Paradise and Sentenced to be a Hero. Now, from what I remember, he had Hell's Paradise pretty damn low on his list. I want to say he had it at like 6, between 6 and 7. I can't even say between. He had it either ranked 6 or ranked 7th. Personally, I feel like that's really, really low. Hell's Paradise this season was phenomenal. The one thing that his one thing was, he felt that this season was not better than last season, and I have to wholeheartedly disagree. This season was super action-packed. This season continued to push the narrative forward as far as the plot. This season introduced us to 2 groups of antagonists who were meant to slow down our main protagonist. It had amazing fights, some amazing choreography, and his point was he felt that no point in this season stood out. I once again disagree. The brother fight, when the episode was like they're 2 as 1, That fight to me was the best fight. Like the way the choreography was, the way the two brothers was weaving and dodging and ducking and stabbing and slicing, that shit was so beyond smooth. I love every minute of that fight. That episode to me was phenomenal. That's also the episode where I think his name is Gentetsu takes his eyeball out because he's like, I don't need to see to access the Tao. I just need instinct. So I would have definitely put Hell's Paradise a little bit higher. Which brings me to my last anime that I watched this season, which is Sentenced to Be a Hero. If you watch one of my previous episodes or even saw one of my clips on TikTok, you know how I feel about Sentenced to Be a Hero. Sentenced to Be a Hero to me was the sleeper hit of the season. He felt that only the last episode was a 10 out of 10. And while I can agree with him that the last episode was definitely a 10 out of 10 in anime, the way it raised the stakes, pushed the story forward, choreography, coloring, everything, I feel like a lot of the episodes were good. My only complaint with Sentenced to Be a Hero is that I wish the MC had a deeper bag of tricks. His kit does not seem extensive enough for the threats that he will be facing in the future. I'm all for him all being about swords and knives and all that stuff. That's great. I'm a huge fan of swords as the weapon of choice. But I do feel like he needs some versatility with the sword. They can't just be all explosion, explosion, throw, throw, throw. I need to see him wield the sword. I need to see him have some type of sword handling skill. I need to see Xylo in close quarter combat, throwing hands or something too. I need to see more from him. I need the goddess. I guess she's just going to do what she does. But I just need to see a little bit more from him. Although his squad, he has a very versatile squad. So maybe he doesn't need that many of the abilities or powers in this kit, but I do need to see Xylo get a deeper bag. With all of that being said, here would be my ranking for those 5 particular anime. And again, I will have the list here for you guys so you can see in comparison. So number 1 for this season, hands down, totally agree with him, gots to be JJK. JJK this season was fucking nominal. Yes. Nothing about JJK was bad. The only bad episode was the episode they talked, and I didn't think it was a bad episode. I thought that was just it was very dialogue heavy, but it helped me lock in. I thought it was a great episode. So JJK, number 1. At my number 2 for this season of anime, I definitely would put Hell's Paradise. I think Hell's Paradise season 2 was great. At my number 3, I got to put Sentenced to Be a Hero. And I almost kept Frieren at 2, but it was very hard for me to do that given how hype I was for a lot of what happened in Hell's Paradise. Same for just the way and the freshness of Sentenced to Be a Hero. That's why I have to have it at 3. At 4, it's Frieren. And Frieren being 4 only means that to me, it's not that it was the 4th, it was my fourth most anime I was looking forward to. I look forward to Frieren every single week. Hilariously enough, Sentenced to Be a Hero was an anime that I consistently forgot about. But I only forgot about Sentenced to Be a Hero because it was stacked in between a JJK, a Frieren, a Fire Force, a Hell's Paradise. You know what I mean? Which brings me to my 5th pick, Fire Force. Fire Force to me was my least favorite for this season. To me, it performed the weakest of the season. We got some amazing fights. We had some amazing moments. I thoroughly enjoyed the ending of Fire Force. Like, I don't think it was a bullshit ending. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the fact that, it was a conflict that was resolved without having to throw hands. At the end of the day, like the ultimate villain, he didn't have to fight. He just kind of trapped it and kind of changed perspective. I'm all for that. But I do feel like I'm missing some information, which is why it has to be dead last for me. So again, my ranking, JJK, Hell's Paradise, Sentenced to Be a Hero, Frieren, and then Fire Force. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know what I mean? I'm always interested to hear from you and hear your thoughts. And would you look at the time? It looks like it's time for me to wrap things up here. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in and stopping by. And until next time. This is King Echo, signing off.